Hey, hey. Hi, Leah. Welcome.
Hey.
So for those who don't know me, I'm Pronger Faulkner. I'm here today with Leah Parker to talk about our collaboration book called Absolute Will, released last month in October 2021. Thank you for being here, Leah.
Thank you for having me.
So the idea for this collaboration came to me earlier this year as I was still working on my first book, and I kept allowing myself to get distracted with other things on my to-do list, one of which was trying to come up with a fundraising idea for a project that my fiance Mike and I want to do in Nicaragua. Eventually, the urge to create an inspirational collaboration was becoming something I couldn't ignore, and I knew I needed to turn this concept into a reality. I wanted as many women from around the world as possible, and I really wanted each of our stories to have a health and a willpower aspect to it. So all of the profits from the author entry fees and the sales through the first month of our launch are going towards Mike and I building a house for a family in Nicaragua who doesn't have one of their own. I'm so thrilled that we have 21 authors in this book, me and Leah, and 19 other women from 7 countries around the world. Our authors are from Canada, the United Kingdom, the United Arab Emirates, the United States, Australia, South Africa, and Bulgaria, each sharing our personal, vulnerable, insightful, true stories of willpower when facing emotional and mental health crises, physical injuries, and disease. This book is also self-published and self-promoted by our authors. We didn't do this through a traditional publishing house. This is a grassroots effort, which makes what we have done with it so far all the more incredible. My first book became a bestseller in 2 categories, so I was pretty sure that I could do it with Absolute Will, especially after tweaking some of my marketing strategies, plus the fact that we would have a built-in book launch team with all 21 of us sharing it. What I didn't expect was that we would hit #1 bestseller in 8 categories across 3 countries, Canada, the US, and Australia, and that we would hit #1 new release in 30 categories across 4 countries, Canada, the US, Australia, and the UK. And this has just been in the first 4 weeks after announcing our release. The reviews so far on this book say that these stories are raw, real, thought-provoking, heartwarming, life-changing, well-written, and that this book is a fantastic read, can't put it down. The stories are truly inspiring. You feel a personal connection to each of the writer's journeys, and that this book has given so much hope to others. These are all direct quotes from reviews on Amazon. Leah's chapter is called Short But Mighty, chapter 11 in Absolute Will. Welcome, Leah. It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's just been such an honor to be part of this collaboration.
So can you tell everyone a little bit about who you are and where you're from and what your chapter in Absolute Will is about?
Yeah, so like you said, my name is Leah Parker. I live with my family here in North Carolina in the United States, and I currently have 3 living children, and my dog Luna is behind me. She might jump on the interview at some point because she likes to jump on me when I'm doing busy things. And my chapter, Short But Mighty, is about my journey with our oldest daughter who is in heaven. She passed away when she was 2 months old. When I was 5 months pregnant, we found out she was going to be born with a congenital heart defect that was non-compatible with life. And so my chapter kind of outlines the journey of going through that with her and everything that went along with that.
And your chapter is one that every single time I read it, so all through the editing process and back and forth with sort of tweaking this, that, and the other, it was hard to even read it. And I can't imagine having to live through that. You've done a remarkable job with writing the chapter in such a way that is really powerful.
I appreciate that. the story that I wrote actually was not the original story that I was going to write for Absolute Will. I actually had a whole nother chapter written out. And then on the day that it was due, I just felt like I wanted to write about Azaria, our daughter. And so wrote it in a day. And it was difficult to write. It was difficult to go back there because I think any mother or family who's gone through loss, you go on and you get through it, but you put it on a shelf so you can go on. And so, writing the story and writing it in such a way that you want the readers to know what you went through, you have to relive it. So I would write a little bit and have to take a break because, those emotions were coming back. And I would just have to go and just have a minute to, as the tears were flowing, and then I'd get myself together and then go back to the story, write some more, then walk away again, let the tears flow again, then go back to the story. And that was how the day went. But I got that chapter done in the day, and that was the story just my heart wanted to share with the world. And when it was done, I knew that was the right decision. That was the story I wanted to be in this book. And I felt so good about it when I wrote you and I said, actually, I changed my mind on my chapter in your and it was difficult, but I just felt so good with the story because I wanted her story, her short life to be shared with the world.
That's amazing. And it is, it was really interesting because the first draft that you submitted for the book was very different. It was not about what your actual final chapter is about. And yeah, I remember that day that you sent me the newest one, and I thought, like, I was like, oh, before I even opened it, I thought, oh, we're gonna have, some extra things that we're gonna now need to go back and re-edit with them, because usually it's done kind of in stages, right? So first draft, then some tweaking, then another draft, then more tweaking. And when I opened up your chapter, then, the one that ended up being in this book, it was so different. The tone of it was different. The emotions were different. It was like a whole different side of you. And to hear that you were able to do that entire chapter in one day, it says so much about how authentic this is and how raw and real the story is, and just that you poured your heart into this. And I love the chapter. As hard as it is to read it, it's remarkable, and it's just so important, I think, to tell this story. And I'm just so glad that you did this. I'm so pleased that you decided to share this, in this book. So thank you.
Yes, I thank you for the opportunity. Like it was so hard, but now having that forever is like so special. I don't want to get teary, but like having a piece of her, it just means a lot.
Yeah, it is amazing. Yeah, and so powerful and hard to get through, but worth every second of reading your chapter. So we connected because of a business program that we're in together with Martha Krejci, who also wrote the foreword in Absolute Will. When you first found out about this collaboration, what made you decide to join in?
It's funny because I think I told you this in private. Like I thought it was just a God moment for me because I'd been praying for an opportunity to work on a book, and I wanted to work on my own book, but was having a hard time just kind of getting started. So I just been praying for kind of direction and just kind of, just some kind of help with that. And then I just happened to run into your post when you were looking for authors, and it was just like, oh my gosh, it was like a day or two after I said that prayer. And I was like, this cannot be more perfect, because your post, you were looking for people who had either gone through a health crisis or an event. And I was like, well, I can check all those boxes. I mean, what story do you want there? And I was like, this is perfect, because I thought being part of a collaboration for my first book would give me that opportunity to get a story out there and take a little bit of the pressure off of having to figure everything out on my own. So I was just over the moon that I got accepted into the collaboration.
Now,
So exciting.
this is your first collaboration, and now you've been published just in the last couple of weeks in another one, which is so amazing.
Yeah.
So based on these experiences, do you think that you'll want to go ahead and write your own book in the future, or be in another collaboration at some point?
Oh my gosh. Being in both of these collaborations, Absolute Will and the other book, The Invincible Family Project, has just really given me the confidence to make all of my publishing dreams a reality. I actually have two big ideas for collaborations. One is another one that has to do with loss, actually, to help further that, families who have gone through loss. And the other ones just have to do with the area that I work in healthcare. And then I have four other titles that I'm thinking of, just that are not collaborations. So it's really gotten those wheels churning. So I definitely recommend collaborations if you have dreams of writing and you just don't know where to start, because it's just helped me so much. Just all the little things I've learned, with you helping with editing and things like that have just been amazing. Absolutely.
Very cool. So it sounds like in the future there could be more than one, quite a few.
I'm so excited about it too. So excited.
Oh, that's awesome. So what's your top piece of advice for someone that may be thinking they want to become a published author?
I would say mindset, to know that you can do it, and to, surround yourself with people that are rooting for you, for, cheering and voting your victory, and get into those groups where you can learn how to do it. Don't just think about it, like take action, like actually start, because I've dreamed about this for a long, long, long time. But you got to start. You got to, start researching, be around people that are doing it, and surround yourself with people that want you to win. So it's my biggest piece of advice.
I love that. And yeah, even in the circle that we're in together, you can just see that so many more people are supporting each other to just take on whatever dreams they've had. And a lot of us have decided that publishing a book was one of those dreams.
Yes.
And here we are.
Wow.
So what else are you up to, and what's next for you?
So many things. One of the biggest things is, because of my daughter, that I wrote about in Absolute Will, I chose to go into nursing. And right now, nurses are just having a little, hard time because of everything going on. We're in a, worldwide pandemic, and it's hard on nurses. So I'm working with nurses, encouraging them to not get burnt out, just to not lose that passion for nursing, and to just kind of encourage them for other creative ways to use their gifts. So that's really what I've been kind of doing in the community that I've created, because I don't want nurses to leave the profession, because we need good nurses, but there's other creative ways that they can stay in the profession without, staying miserable where they're at. So
That's so powerful, because when you're, feeling burnt out and you're feeling miserable in your career, it's really disempowering and you feel stuck.
Yes.
So what you're doing and how you've, come through your journey, and you're inspiring others now to be able to change things about their own lives, is just amazing.
I'm pretty excited about it. And it's just amazing how pain can be used and turned into purpose. And, it just, all the ladies that wrote in Absolute Will, we're all, living testaments of that, that it can be um, testimonies to others that are going through hard things, that you can get through it and survive and thrive.
So amazing. So if you'd like to connect with Leah after hearing more about her story and her life, you can check out her website, withleahparker.com. Leah, thank you so much for being in this collaboration and for your time today. Your story and how you've turned this tragedy into helping so many others is just so inspiring. And I'm so honored that you chose to share this pivotal moment in your life in Absolute Will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.